Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to Whole Again, the show that can help you navigate today's uncertainty with a bit more mindfulness, resilience, and grace. And Fridays this year, I'm sharing experiences, maybe shifts in perspective, tips, if you will, that I discovered along the way since my last bad day. That's what I call my near-death cycling accident. This year, I celebrate 25 years of healing, 25 years of our kintsugi spirit. And I've learned a lot through that healing process, my work as a meditation teacher. So each Friday, I want to share a short perspective with you. Sometimes these perspectives will hit the mark, and sometimes they won't. So this year, take what works for you, and then the rest you can leave it behind. This week, I'd like to share a story about Nisa. She's one of the nursing aides that helped me in my recovery. And in the early days of my recovery, I was in traction and then I was bedridden. I couldn't get out of bed. So if I had to poop, which, hey, everyone poops, I had to do it in a bedpan. So anytime I had an urge to poop, that was big news. The hospital staff was excited. Of course, everybody wants all the internal systems to be working fine. My mom was, in particular, obsessed with my pooping, which made me feel like a child, and it brought up childhood drama. Life can be so complicated. So can families. But I digress. But when it came time to do the thing, there I was on top of a bedpan in nothing but a hospital gown with a curtain pulled back for some privacy. And when I needed to be cleaned up, I couldn't do it by myself, so I called Nisa. I hit the nurse's button, and she came. And in that moment, when I felt the most vulnerable, where I thought I had lost all my dignity, I had one thing. I had her compassion. She's not the only one that helped me. There are plenty of people that had to clean me up, that showered me, that bathed me, that changed my sheets along the way. No doctor did this. No RN did this. It was all the aides. All the people that often go unnoticed in a hospital, but they make the hospital run, and they're there for the patients when the patients are in their most vulnerable state, as I was. Hospitals have a hierarchy, like every aspect of life, every industry, every system, you name it. We tend to give special attention to the doctors, and then that attention seems to drop or fall away by the time you get to someone like Nisa. And I knew this intellectually before my accident, but when you go through something, it hits you different emotionally. And when I got to know Nisa and the other people that gave me such great care, almost all of them had this wonderful second or first generation immigration story. They came to America for a better life. They believed in the American dream. And many of them left behind horrific and dangerous conditions. Conditions that really very few Americans can actually relate to. And they make our hospitals run. They make restaurants run. They provide your organic strawberries that you can put in your morning smoothie. They're in every industry, as I mentioned, in every aspect of life. They make up our tapestry that is known as America. And this leads me to tip number 4 for this year. And I'll say it in a very spicy way. I'll say it in a way that my dad would say it to me. Michael, give a shit. I would say it maybe in a softer way. Michael, choose compassion. But somewhere along the way, Maybe it was back in 1979 when the Sony Walkman came out. I had one. People decided to put on their earphones and block out the world. Tune into their music and tune in to themselves. We got obsessed about the self. And I won't dive deeply into this. I might save it for a future episode. But in reality, there's no true solid self. But who doesn't love a good Sony Walkman or a Discman? I had one of those in the hospital. That was part of my morning routine. I didn't have a radio. So those are a good thing. Phones are good things. But when we overuse them, it's so easy to get deep within ourselves that we just focus in on ourselves. Fast forward a couple decades, and we're into self-help, self-development, becoming a better you. And that's all good if by becoming a better version of ourselves, we find the power, we find the strength, we find the compassion to give a shit about other people, especially other people who don't look like us, that don't have our status, don't have our power, don't have our influence, don't have our lived experience. We begin to see each other in each other. And when we see each other that way, we're in a better position to hear each other and to appreciate or love each other. And in any great country, company, or community, they go far together because of connection. And when we come together, we can go far together. And I know today we can put our finger on the globe and know that there's suffering there. And through all of our media, we know this far more today than, say, back in 1979 when there was just the Sony Walkman. So when we know that there's so much suffering across the planet, it can feel overwhelming, especially when we're going through something ourselves. We might not feel like we have the strength to offer compassion to someone else, especially someone halfway across the country or halfway around the world. This is why I always recommend to start where you are. Start by offering yourself self-compassion because we can beat ourselves up pretty fiercely. And when we offer ourselves compassion, when we give a shit about ourselves, then we can extend that to our smaller circle that's around us, our friends, our family, those that we meet in our local travels. We don't have to change the whole world. We can simply begin by changing the world around us. And that can create a ripple effect that changes how other people show up. This is how we can begin to believe that indeed we can go far together by giving a shit about each other and choosing compassion. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of our community and having the courage to keep pedaling. I hope you'll join me over on Substack. There you'll see my writings, a weekly teaching, as well as live meditations. And again, thank you for being here. And if you wish to further enhance your digital health, I'll invite you to take my smartphone wellness check. And you can access it through the link in the show notes, or you can visit my website, which is michaelobrienshift.com. And it's absolutely free, and it will help you scroll less and live more. And of course, I hope you'll join us here on Whole Again every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and discover how to heal, grow, and become more resilient, and celebrate our scars as golden symbols of strength and resilience. Until then, remember, you can always come back to your breath. You've got this, and we've got you.